A very happy morning to all of you students. Students, today we are going to start the second part of the chapter Rocks and Minerals. In our previous lecture, we have done with the two types of the rocks, that are igneous rocks and sedimentary rocks. And in today's lecture, we are going to do the metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks are formed by the atmospheric decomposition of sedimentary and igneous rocks. Okay, when the sedimentary and the igneous rocks, they got buried under the layers of the sand or the soil, then by the heat and pressure which is present under the earth's surface, these sedimentary and igneous rocks, they got converted into the metamorphic rock. Okay students, so metamorphic rock, basically it is formed by the metamorphosis of igneous and sedimentary rocks. Okay, marble. Now marble is a metamorphic rock which is formed by the metamorphism of limestone. We have done that limestone is a type of sedimentary rock. Yes, so this limestone, it gets converted to marble by the atmospheric decomposition. Okay students, now marble is used in variety of the things, like in statues, in flooring. It is used widely around us. Now the second type of metamorphic rock is slate. Slate is formed from the igneous rock shale. Okay, now it is again formed by the metamorphosis of that rock. Okay, see, this is the complete cycle. Shale gets converted to slate, slate gets converted to phyllite, which got converted to schist, and which then get converted to gneiss. So gneiss and slate both are the metamorphic rocks, but they are of different levels. They are formed from the igneous rock shale. It is very strong and is used in the formation of roofs in the hilly areas. You must have seen in the hilly areas that the huts, they have some slate kind of things on their roofs. So that is actually the slate. Okay students, so this is the gneiss, which is very beautiful in the appearance. So it is used for the flooring, tiling, etc. Okay, granite metamorphosis to gneiss also are a different type of texture is there when the granite gets converted to gneiss. Then the other type of metamorphic rock is quartzite. Quartzite is formed by the metamorphism of sandstone. Okay students, so sandstone on metamorphosis gets converted to quartzite over the years. So in this way you can see that all these metamorphic rocks, they are formed from the igneous rock or the sedimentary rock. Okay students, so this is the first part of the chapter, that is rocks. Now let us do the second part of the chapter, minerals. Now minerals are almost everywhere around us, and we take minerals in our diet also, and there are a lot of rocks which contain the minerals. Okay, so minerals can be metallic, can be non-metallic, can be lustrous or not. There are a lot of type of minerals which differ in their appearance depending on the content they have. Okay, so if we talk about minerals or mineral formation, then minerals can be formed from the molten material or from the solutions. Okay, so these can be formed from the molten material or from the solutions. Molten materials like magma or the lava, they may form the mineral material, or evaporation above the grounds or underground evaporation, they may lead to formation of different types of minerals. Now we have basically two types of minerals, metallic and non-metallic. Metallic minerals are the minerals which contain metal as the constituent particle, and which are metallic in the appearance and also bear some properties similar to those of metals. Even metals are extracted from these minerals. Okay, minerals are what? Minerals are basically the naturally existing form of metals or non-metals in which they exist naturally. So from these minerals, metals or non-metals are extracted. There are very few minerals of non-metals, because non-metals are not that much reactive, bache. But metals, as they are reactive, so they are found in the combined form in the nature. So those combined forms are known as minerals. So metallic minerals contain the metals. Okay, and metals can be extracted from the minerals. Okay, and there are some non-metallic minerals also, but they are not that much strong, as I told you, because the non-metals are not that much reactive. Fine. Then as I told you that minerals, they also exhibit the properties similar to those of the metals. Like if we talk about the magnetite, Magnetite contain the iron particles, so it has some magnetic properties. Bauxite, it is the ore of aluminium. Ore means from which the metal can be taken out. So bauxite contains the aluminium. Okay, students. Then this is the gypsum, which contains the silica. Quartz. This also is a mineral of silica. Then there are iron, calcium and potassium. We all know that we all used to hear these things from like from 4th or 5th grade, from 4th grade, that yes, we need minerals in our diet, we need minerals in our diet. So we all need, all these minerals are very much important for us. Magnetite, as I told you, that it has some magnetic properties associated with it, or you can say this magnetite is also known as the natural magnet. Okay, like we have the man-made magnets like bar magnet, ring magnet, disc magnet. In the same way, magnetite is a natural magnet which bears the magnetic properties. These minerals, as I told you, now we are doing the next part, that is the uses of the minerals. Now, as I told you that these minerals are very much important because the metals can be extracted, metals can be obtained from these minerals. Like magnetite is rich in iron, so it is used to form iron. Bauxite is rich in aluminium, so aluminium is extracted from bauxite. So this also I just told you before, that the mineral from which the metal can be obtained is known as ore. Okay, this is the name given to the mineral from which metal can be obtained. Okay, students. So these metals which are obtained from the minerals, they are used to make many of the things like jewelries, aircraft outings, so all these things. Minerals are also used as jewelry, like these kinds of stones, ruby stones, these all are available in our rocks. Okay, students. So in this way you can see that rocks and minerals, both of these, they play an important part in our daily life. Fine. Now if we talk about some more minerals, like we have the coal and petroleum also as the mineral around us. Coal and petroleum, these are found in the sediments, right? We have done that coal is found under the earth's crust on the mining. And how it is formed? It is formed from the sedimentary or the igneous rocks. When they got buried under the rocky material, then all those, they get converted into the fuel, which we call as coal. So it is also a type of mineral. Fine. So this is the picture, that how the coal and mineral, when heat and pressure is obtained, then first form of the coal is peat. Firstly, the earthly or the remains of dead animals and plants, they got converted to the first you can say form of mineral, that is peat. This peat then get converted to a brown coal, and which gets converted to the black coal, which we use as fuel in our daily life. Okay, students. So this coal is greatly utilized as a fuel in village area mostly, but in the urban areas also, or in the, you can say, in trains and all also, and the industries, coal is primarily used as a fuel. Fine, students. Petroleum is also a kind of mineral, but it is obtained from the seabeds, where the aquatic plants or animals got died and they got buried under the layers of the sand, and the huge pressure of water and the sand, they just degrade this aquatic material or remains of dead plants and animals into the another fuel, which we call as petroleum, and this also we use in our daily life. Refining of petroleum gives us many important products which we use in our daily life. So in this way, students, what we have done in this chapter, we have done the types of rocks, then the types of minerals, and then we have done about the coal and petrol. So that's all for the chapter. I hope that you have understood the chapter. Thank you. Have a nice day.